Hi everyone, I'm Luis Leiva, and I'm here to share my thoughts and life experiences so I can help you on your journey. Welcome everyone to episode number 4 of the Luis Leiva Podcast. I am your host, Luis Leiva. I thank you for tuning in today. And today's topic is going to be doing the things you don't feel like doing, but you know it's good for you, and you know you have to. And procrastination. And come on, guys, get your act together. We're going to do this. We're going to rip off the Band-Aid. We're going to swallow that frog. These are all terms that people have probably heard before, and we're going to talk about what that actually means. So, in my life, I've experienced a lot of things that I hate doing, but I know it's good for me, such as eating right, working out, calling that client that you've been avoiding, or paying for something that you know is going to hurt your pockets, but you know it's necessary. These are all things that as human beings we tend to put on the back burner. And we tend to say, that's not important right now. But you know it is. It's affecting your life. It's affecting your health. It's affecting your business. So today we're going to start from the fundamentals, such as why do we think that way? Why does our minds program to put those things for later? And why is it that we always choose to do the things that are easy as opposed to doing the things that are hard? So let's start with the basics. When it comes to waking up in the morning, we have the most mental capacity and the most energy right in the morning. So why not attack the biggest things first? For instance, some people do not like to work out. But if you do it first thing in the morning, it's easier. For most people, it's going to be a lot easier to do it in the morning. And after so many weeks and so many months of doing it, it's going to become a habit and it's going to be part of your lifestyle. That is going to be one of the most important things to affect everything else in your lives, guys. I know you've heard it a million times. And I know that gyms love the fact that you don't show up. What a beautiful model, right? You pay them and then you come once every 2 or 3 months, or you pay at the beginning of the year and they don't see you forever. Come on, guys, get your act together. I'm telling you this because a healthy body equals a healthy mind. And with a healthy mind, you can accomplish anything. So this is the fundamental. This is the basis. This is going to be half the battle. The other half of this battle is going to be how you feed yourself. What kind of fuel are you putting into your sports car? You are a thoroughbred. Are you feeding yourself crap, or are you feeding yourself high grain food? You don't give a thoroughbred candy. You don't give it junk. You give it the best food you can find because you probably paid $1 million for your thoroughbred. But guess what? If that thoroughbred died, you can probably buy another one. But you can't do that with your body. So why not take care of your body like it's $1 million horse or like it's $1 million sports car? Come on, guys. Let's get it together. So how do you do it? It all starts with a decision. First of all, you're probably overweight. You probably are not healthy. Chances are. Why am I saying that? Because statistics say that only a minority of people are actually the right weight for their age and their height. And it's not cool, guys. We're labeled across the world as being overweight Americans or indulgent Americans, and we shouldn't be that way. A lot of us are young, and we're still able to take control of our lives, and even if we're older, it's never too late. A lot of diseases and a lot of things out there that are ailing us are all starting because of an unhealthy lifestyle. If we can get ourselves together with the food we eat, with the way we run our bodies, with the way that we exercise, we've already won. We have won. And I'll tell you this, guys, I'm not making it up. I grew up as a kid. I was overweight. I didn't know how to eat. My parents didn't know how to feed me. I just was an overweight kid. And I put up with all the teasing and all the suffering as a kid, and it made me probably the person I am today. But then later on, I got into health, and I got into being more of an athlete, and it completely changed my life. I did better in school. I just had more energy. I had more friends. My personality was better. And then I got into the real estate world. And during the real estate world, I packed on a lot of weight. I was doing real estate and I was doing mortgages. I would work from very early in the morning to about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I fed myself anything I can find. This is not the way that we're meant to be. We're meant to eat the good food. Food is energy. Food is electric. We're electric beings. We should be eating food that's alive, not food that's dead. But I didn't know this, and I ballooned up to almost 210 pounds for a guy that's 5'9", 5'10". I shouldn't have been that weight. But then, in my mid-20s, finding myself overweight, the life insurance agent telling me that, hey man, are you okay? Like, I just ran your blood work and it seems like you might be partying or something. Like, why are your levels so high? I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, listen, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna come back in about a week. Don't go out drinking, don't eat some really heavy cholesterol-ridden food, and we'll take your blood levels again. So that was kind of a shocker. That was a wake-up call for me, and I was like, you know what? All right, I'll do what he said. So I actually did my blood work again, and it came out much better. But that was just the beginning, and that was a trigger. I then had the opportunity to actually sponsor a soccer team that my friends were playing in. And I used to be a big soccer fan. Not so much a fan, but more of a player. I've always been hands-on type of guy. And I was watching these guys running up and down the field. I'm like, I remember I used to do that in high school, and I used to love playing soccer. I said, you know what? Instead of just sponsoring this team, I want to play. And at the time, I was still over 200 pounds. And I told them, look, I'm gonna do this. So then I started playing every week. I started playing a few days a week, and I ended up dropping the weight. I went from 210 pounds all the way down to 165 pounds. I dropped about 40 pounds. And not only that, but I changed the way that I was feeding myself. I started juicing. I ran into a friend that I knew from high school, and he looked exactly the way he looked in high school. And I said to him, like, wow, bro, like, what are you doing, man? You look great. I'm like, you literally look amazing. And he was like, well, bro, it's the way I eat. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what do you eat? He's like, you don't remember, bro? I used to bring my own food to high school. I'm a vegetarian. I'm like, nah, man, I had no clue. If I knew you were a vegetarian, I probably would have made fun of you in high school. So then he went on and told me about the high alkaline diet. He told me about, Dr. Sebi and the way he was living his life. And I don't know if it was, just meant to be or a serendipitous moment in my life, but I went on to doing some research on what he said. And I completely changed the way I ate. I started juicing raw vegetables. And I never felt better in my life. I never looked better in my life. It was the moment that my business, my career, my life skyrocketed, catapulted, took me to another level that I didn't know existed. And it all started, guys, with the food I put in my body, with the decisions I made about my health. And then the rest was history. And it's still being written today because till this day, over 10, 12 years later, I still follow those habits that I created back then because I will tell you right now, guys, it is not a diet. It is not a regimen. It is my life. And when a day goes by that I eat bad or I don't go to the gym, I feel terrible. I know that the next day I got to work extra hard. And you should not rest until you get to that point. And you will thank me. You will remember listening to this podcast and you will say, Luis was absolutely right. I've heard it a million times, but I had to hear it one more time from him. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is doing the things that we put off because they're uncomfortable. Getting uncomfortable is half the battle. Doing things and giving news and saying things that are normally not the things you want to look forward to will groom you to be an exceptional person, a leader, someone that people look to. Now, if I've got bad news to give someone, man, that is not a good day when you have to do that, when you have to fire someone or you have to tell someone they're doing a horrible job, or if you found one of your partners robbing you or doing things that that shouldn't be done. Not that that's happened, but I mean, guys, anything could be the reason for you having to avoid an argument or avoid a conversation. But these are called critical and crucial conversations, and we need to learn how to do them. So it starts with presenting your argument or whatever it is that you need to talk to that person about. It's all in the presentation. Do not be confrontational and do not obviously point the finger. It's always better when you give a good presentation before you give your information. So if there's a problem, present it in a way where there's possible solutions to that problem, unless there isn't any, and then you just wish the person well if they're not going to be able to continue working with you for whatever reason. There's so many different things in your life that I know you're avoiding, you're putting off. Maybe it's a conversation with a loved one. Maybe it's an employee. Maybe you hired someone from your circle of friends and it's not working out. Maybe it's a boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife that you just can't stand for some reason, and you just keep putting off and you keep putting off, and you're not talking and you're not saying the things that you should be saying. And I know we're all guilty of this at one point or another, but this is your opportunity. Write down all the things in your life that you know you're putting off, whether it's the health that I talked about before, whether it's getting rid of people who do not belong in your circle, whether it's just taking the horns and just being more proactive when bad news comes up. I know for myself, plenty of times, like, man, I'm running low on cash and I got to finish this property. I got all these contractors calling me. And instead of calling them back and telling them, hey, listen, you're going to have to wait till Friday to get paid because I'm waiting on a check to clear. Don't put these people off. It's always better to tell them, listen, you've got money coming in. Don't worry. Let's finish this job up. And you move on to the next. And before you know it, people start to see you differently. The kind of people I love doing business with is people always answer their phone. No matter whether it's good news or bad news, it doesn't matter. Answer your phone. There's been plenty of times in real estate where we've had loan officers who can't close your deal on time. And you know what they do? They just go MIA. They don't answer their phone. They never call you back. And you know what happens? We never work with them again. You do not want to be that person. You want to be the type of person that whatever news it is, good, bad, ugly, and different, you're always able to communicate with someone. That's what I'm striving for, and that's what you should be striving for too. I guarantee you doing those things will propel you to a level that you've never seen before. That's where I'm going, guys, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for listening to this segment. It's been episode number 4 of the Luis Leiva Podcast. If you're enjoying it, please don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones and leave us a review. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and God bless. We'll see you next time.